this is not Lewis Hamilton.
No, this is Michael Andretti.
Michael
Andretti.
Okay, we see.
He's the son of the only recorded Formula One champion from America. His father is called Mario Andretti. They have a very, very big name in motorsports.
Okay.
And they've been trying to get an 11th team onto the Formula One grid.
11th team means what?
There are 10 teams on the grid.
Okay.
And they've been trying to get an 11th team, a proper American team, onto the grid. They have a racing history pedigree. They're very, very good in other racing series. And
but when you say there are 10, who approves the 10? How is an 11 coming in? Who approves it? How does it work?
So there's Formula One management, which is the commercial rights holder of the series. Mm-hmm. They approve who can enter into Formula One and who cannot enter into Formula One.
They approve a car, or they approve individuals, or they approve a team that is car and human beings. What do they approve?
They approve teams. The teams
have a car.
The teams run 2 cars.
Oh, each team runs 2 cars?
Each team runs 2 cars.
So what are the cars on the grid?
So there's Mercedes, there's Ferrari, there's Red Bull, there's...
Red Bull is not a car, by the way.
Red Bull is a car.
Red Bull is a drink.
The energy drinks, yes, they have a Formula One team. They
actually created their own car.
Yes.
Which doesn't have to be on the common brand like Mercedes has other cars.
No.
You can do that.
Formula One.
So you can create a car called Ghana. Because Red Bull, I can't go and buy a Red Bull car on the showroom. I can buy a Mercedes car.
Not at the moment. Uh-huh. But currently they are working on developing their own engines and their own powertrains to sell to other engine.
Okay, but I'm selling spare parts. Okay, so you're saying that they are in the automobile industry. It doesn't have to be producing a complete car.
They produce a complete car, but it's
only for Formula One.
Only for Formula One.
Only racing.
Only racing.
So that's what I'm saying. We can produce a car called Ghana.
Well, technically, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
And so there are 10 teams on the grid, and Hamilton has. Okay, we're talking about Andretti. Yeah. Andretti wants to add an 11th team to the current grid. Formula One management says no. The regulator of the Formula One series, which is the FIA, the International Motorsport Federation, have approved Andretti's bid to enter into the series. Formula One teams are fighting with them over how much money to pay before they allow them into the series because it's very exclusive. And this has been going on for...
What car are they proposing to bring?
They're going to bring this manufacturer, General Motors, the Cadillac people. They've got backing from Cadillac to help them enter the series, to supply them with engines and so on, from 2025.
Okay.
They've gone through everything. The FIA has approved them. Formula One management says no. They don't see, they're saying...
So how does that connect to Lewis Hamilton's?
This news broke yesterday. And this thing has been a fight that has been going on for the better part of last year. Now, it has certain legal ramifications when you look at the EU laws and so on. But as soon as this news breaks, this morning, then the news breaks that Hamilton has signed with Ferrari for the 2025 season, meaning he's going to be with Mercedes for this year, the 2024 season, and next year he moves to Ferrari. Normally, these kinds of announcements don't come that early. They come at the end
of the season, yeah.
But in my analysis, it's probably a way of deflecting the damage that this thing is going to cause, because these guys are an American team, and they have...
Or the damage that the failure, how do I put it?
The refusal
of Formula One to get them in spite of the preparation they've done.
Yes.
The Formula One people don't want that leading the story about Grand Prix.
No, they don't
want to change the story.
Exactly.
And that's what this Hamilton thing is intended to do.
That's what I suspect.
Has that been successful?
To a very large extent.
So nobody's talking. I don't do a lot of Formula One, so I don't know anything about this. I know though that Lewis Hamilton is moving. So it's been successful, I think.
It's buried the story for the moment. Maybe it will come back to bite them in a little bit, because I don't think these guys are going to go away that quietly. Yeah. They've raised over $1.5 billion in funding and so on.
Can they do their own Formula One?
They can't.
Can they start another one?
They have what they call IndyCar in the US, which runs
similar.
A bit similar, but the specifications are different. It's very, very rigorous with the way they follow the regulations and so on in motorsports.
Okay.
These guys have been successful in all the other motorsport disciplines. They want to get into Formula One. Formula One says no.
Is Formula One more of an European concept rather than an American?
More or less.
Okay.
It's largely European focused.
I see. So what's their potential next steps for for the Andretti family.
They might take Formula One management to court
I see.
and check whether there are anti-competitive laws and so on. Look into these issues and to see whether they can force Formula One management to give them a spot on the grid.
When is the next Grand Prix?
It's in about a month. I think on the 2nd of March in Bahrain.
Oh, Bahrain. Okay. Yeah. All right. What else do you have?
So
there's Lewis Hamilton now.
There's Lewis Hamilton.
Okay.
When news of this broke, it skyrocketed Ferrari's earnings on the stock market, and it has given them an additional $7 billion
in stocks. People are buying.
Yeah.
Because they think the shares are going to go up.
Because Hamilton is moving there.
Yeah.
And
so how do the shares go? People are going to order more Ferraris for themselves.
People are just going to buy more shares for the team, buy Ferrari shares for the team, for the racing team, for the cars, because people expect that if Hamilton is there and he's performing well,
the share value will go up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
so if you buy it now at $25, it may go up to $95 a share. You can sell and make money.
So
that's interesting.
This one here was from the Instagram account of Felipe Massa. Felipe Massa is the guy that Hamilton beat to his first world title in 2008. And over the last several months, he's been making a lot of noise about, there was something that happened that's called Crashgate, where the Renault team in 2008 ordered one of their drivers to crash deliberately in order for Fernando Alonso, their driver at the time, to be able to make a pit stop to change tires and take the lead in the race.
So who crashed deliberately?
So Alonso's teammate, he crashed.
How does that help Alonso?
When you crash, they bring out the safety car.
Yeah.
But because the team had made Alonso change his tires before the crash, he didn't have to go into the pits to change his tires again.
Yeah.
So he took the lead of the race and he won.
Against who? The one who crashed?
Against the other 19 drivers on the grid.
Yeah, I don't get it. So if Alonso's teammate crashes, Alonso is riding, so he continues. What happens?
His teammate crashes, but he's going to change his tires. The person who was ahead of Alonso at the time took the opportunity to go and change his tires
during the crash.
Because of the crash, when they crash,
or when everyone stops,
everyone follows. There's a car that comes onto the track, and everybody follows the track. The track moves the car moves at a particular speed, and so everybody follows the car at that speed until all the issues that have to be cleared up.
They race again.
They race again.
So sort of, if you are third when the crash comes, you will remain third, something like that.
If you're third when the crash comes, you may or may not remain third, depending on how quickly they call the car out and they raise the alarms and all of that. They're called yellow and red flags and so on.
So go on. So when this car crashed, then what happened?
When he crashed, because Alonso had changed his tires already, he didn't have to go under the safety car.
That's an advantage for him.
Exactly. So he took the lead of the race. It was for the team. It wasn't because of, it was for the Renault team.
Yeah.
So he took the advantage, took the lead of the race, and he won the race.
Why did he win? Other people had to go and change tires?
Other people had to change tires. And the Ferrari driver, Felipe Massa, who was leading the race at the time, went to change his tires. Meanwhile, this guy had changed his tires not too long before.
Yes.
So he was gone.
So whilst they are changing, Massa is
Alonso is going.
But that would happen anyway. If he's changed his tires already and it's time to change your tires, you go to change your tires. And he's still going.
Yes, but it depends on how you use the tires. The tires you don't have a stipulated time within which to change your tires. So
it depends on usage.
It depends on usage and how worn your tires are.
So some will change fewer times, some will change more.
Some will change fewer times. Some will use their tires over a longer period, depending on how they drive and how they chop into the tire itself. So Felipe Massa goes into the pits, and then Ferrari made a mistake when they were fueling his car. They forgot to take the hose out, and he drove out with the fuel hose attached. And then they started spilling fuel and so on, so they had to stop it and then bring him back, take the fuel thing out.
So he
lost the race. Hamilton came second or so. The following year, the news came out that the guy who had crashed, his teammate, Nelson Piquet Jr., it was organized. But it was on the quiet. When they finally came out, they started making noise about it, but because they had already issued the championship, they let it stay that way.
Okay, so why is he posting this? Is he relating this to that? What is he saying?
Last year, they uncovered more evidence that the regulators knew about the incident and should have cancelled the race and didn't cancel it. So he's challenging the results of the 2008 World Championship, which Hamilton won by 1 point.
Wow.
Against him.
Okay.
So
but was that an advantage for Hamilton? This Alonso tire change, was that an advantage for him?
Not
or because it's a league table, because he lost in that race.
Exactly.
If he had participated and come second or third, he probably would have won the championship at the end of the league table.
Exactly.
Okay. So he's asking for a cancellation of that event.
Of that event.
Okay.
Which would cancel all the points. And then he would lead Hamilton.
And he would win the championship. I see. That's a good challenge. Is he suing?
He's suing.
Okay.
And he's spoken with Formula One management about it. They basically haven't gotten back to him. And nobody really thinks it's going to stand. Not after what happened with him and Lewis and Verstappen at the end of the 2021 season.
Okay, so what is with Hamilton going to Ferrari that he's posting? What is it?
Well, when the news broke out, he just posted this on his Instagram story, and he just wrote, cool.
Is he Ferrari?
He was driving for Ferrari when he was on the grid, but he's no longer.
He's no longer driving. Okay, yeah. Okay, I see. So he is suing against Hamilton.
No, he's suing.
Yeah, I get it, but the suit really is directed at taking the title away from Hamilton, and then Ferrari goes for Hamilton. That's really the point he's making.
Well, yes.
Okay. So what's this one?
So this is from a 2020 race where Hamilton won the race, but he was pictured standing beside a Ferrari.
Ah, I see.
And then,
but this is him on Mercedes, isn't it?
This is him. Mercedes just posted this on their social media accounts. I think it was yesterday or today or something. And more or less, he's like saying bye to them.
Oh,
that's why he has.
Okay.
And then here's him from, I think, 2018, looking into Sebastian Vettel's Ferrari.
Oh, I see that he had eyed Ferrari for a while. That's an interesting.
He was interviewed, I think, was last year, and he was asked whether he had intentions of going to Ferrari. There was a lot of news about this impending Ferrari move sometime middle of last year. The rumors just wouldn't go away. And he hadn't re-signed with Mercedes at the time. So there was a whole lot of speculation. Then finally, it came out. He signed with Mercedes very, very late, but he signed a 2-year deal with them. The reason why this is making waves is because everybody expected that he would end his career with Mercedes, or he would at least see out the 2-year period of his contract. Apparently, the reason it had delayed was because he wanted certain clauses in the contract, and the negotiations took a bit of time.
Okay.
So he had a break clause included in it. So instead of doing a full 2-year contract, he had a 1+1.
Okay. Yeah.
And he has exercised
that one,
and moved effectively to Ferrari for next season.
I see. Okay. That's a good one. We'll keep an eye on it. I said the next Grand Prix is when?
I think it's on the 2nd of March.
But that one is going to drive a Mercedes.
Yes, he's driving Mercedes for this year.
Okay. All right.